Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic, in keeping with the events theme, after the U.S. economy collapses, what are your plans now? How's everybody doing out there? Oh, ah, shoot, I forgot I was going to change this, but hey, it works. Everybody's in rags and stuff after the economy collapses. All the other zombies are coming out. And all right, let me go over here and say hello to everybody. Got more people coming in. So I didn't say too high over there. So let's get everybody here. All right, so Walt Rogers was first, still out riding the fence line on horseback. Shady Hill Homestead is here. Caitlin Strain is here. Troop 1351 is here. Diana 2. Moon over Miami. Geeky Gardens. Happy Mac. Utah Mike. And Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man. Cool. All right. Opposed to last week's tongue-in-cheek topic, this has more possibility of happening because it has happened before. And it can happen worse than it did before. So, let's get over here to the other side here. Let's see what we got here. So, warning, danger, Will Robinson. Possible fantasy fear porn Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead. Then again, maybe not. It may be more legit than you think. All right, let me get some water here and we'll get on with it here. Mother Earth Garden Club just came in. Okay. So, we're going to start with what could be the causes for this event, and that would be the U.S. economy collapsing. There are a boatload. Most of them are man-made on purpose. A couple of them are man-made neglect. There's got to be something that Mother Nature could cause. Yeah, Mother Nature could cause a CME, which would take out the grid. That would cause the economy to collapse too. But yeah, so that takes care of Mother Nature. Yeah. And whoever's holding Mother Nature's beer and has her meds in her pocket, give them back to her. She needs her bipolar meds back. All right, so with this, man-made on purpose. That goes back to, shoot, I forgot my notes. I believe it's the 16th Amendment where they started income tax, limited the amount of tariffs that could be put on. It was forced through, or I should say it was bought off and forced through by the big, rich multi-billionaires because they're working on getting a international economy going. And if the U.S. is charging tariffs and has no income tax because the tariffs are paying for everything, then they ain't going to make their big money off of interest rates and everything else. And Wayne Hunter is in the house. And so there are those that are rich that, saying, oh, I can make a boatload of money if I collapse the economy, because then I'll invest in everything, sell short, make a killing on it. When everything collapses, buy everything up. I'll own more and I can recover it because I control it all. That's what some of them would like to do. Others are from other countries, man-made, that are trying to just collapse our country, our economy to make theirs better. Not saying who, Mr. Land of the Red Dragon. There are some that are just, not necessarily trying to collapse the economy. They think they know, they think they're smart and know better than everybody else and all the other economists and stuff, and they're just trying to make a killing on our economy, not kill the economy, but make a killing on it. And they're going to, by trying to make this killing, they're going to accidentally take it down. So it's, for them, it's not so much on purpose as the other ones that were actually trying to collapse it. But, you know, their stupidity could, their on purpose stupidity could cause it to collapse. There is the man-made neglect, and that was once again bought off members of Congress that helped set up the Fed and the International Bank, which prior to which the American economy was strong and great, and couldn't be controlled by people outside the country. So those are some of the things, and we could probably go on for hours listening to economists out there and stuff, pointing out this is what's going to cause this is going to cause that. But some of the neglect or on purpose could be to thinking, oh well, we need to increase interest rates to curb inflation. Oh no, we need to lower them to curb inflation and do this. And no, well, you need to do this. Yeah, they can't make up their friggin' mind. They don't know what they're doing. They're just guessing. Yeah, stupid people doing stupid things. And then the 1929 market crash was the same thing. Stupid people doing stupid things, over extending their stuff, saying, "Oh, this is working great. I can make more money. I'm going to overspend a whole bunch more and do all this stuff. Sell short, do this, do that, whatever," and everything the bottom just fell out. So there are, like I said, we could probably have some economists come on here and for the next 48 hours talk about the possibilities, the high possibilities of events that would cause the U.S. economy to collapse. Now, one of the ones that's out there was saying, well, if a certain nation across the Pacific calls in all the debt that they bought up and want the money back, it could collapse the economy, possibly. If Glenn's here, how to garden. If our leaders are smart enough and that were to happen, they'd say, oh, no, we're just nationalizing all the debt. Sort of what the Arab countries did back in the 70s when they took all the refineries. And no, the refineries no longer belong to Chevron, BP, or anybody else. The refineries now all belong to us. You guys get out. Well, your workers can stay and work for us. So, yeah, there are a bunch of different things that could cause the economy to collapse. And just about 99% of them are stupid. People doing stupid things. Being greedy and trying to get money. Yep. And I have a feeling that tomorrow I'm going to get a bunch of replays from those over in Europe who have already gone to bed and heard what the topic was going to be tonight. I have a feeling a bunch of them are going to be watching tomorrow. All right. So, yeah, these are some of the things that could happen to drive it. So, mitigation and recovery. Mitigation. Angels Homestead, how you doing? The best mitigation we could do as citizens of the United States is to pull our heads out of our butts, get together, vote out 90% of all the senators and House of Representatives. Get people in who will, remove the 16th Amendment, get rid of the Fed, get rid of the limits on tariffs, and make income tax illegal again. Because prior to that, we were doing great. Other mitigation things we can do is proper individual proper financing. Do not overextend yourself. Do not buy the latest and greatest iPhone. Shoot, I haven't bought a phone in I don't know how long. Actually, the only phone I bought, really, I wasn't sure I bought it. It was more of a freebie when I first got T-Mobile. And they go, oh, all right, here's your freebie phone. Cheap bottom line, but it was a great bulletproof phone. And then when we switched to AT&T, because they had a great plan that my wife scoped out and got us locked into for the last 25 years or so, 20 years. And anyways, and when we switched from T-Mobile to AT&T, our SIM cards won't fit in the Nokia phone. You're going to have to get a different phone. But it's free because you're signing up, you know. So we got the free phone. I still wish, I still have that Nokia sitting in the closet in one of the shoe boxes. I wish it worked, you know, much more bulletproof than these other ones. But anyways, so yeah, it's like, you know, I don't spend money on phones. We don't spend money on phones at all. And my wife finally got tired of paying for cable as well as internet and just got rid of the cable. And so the house in California just has internet, and everybody does everything on internet anyways. They watch TV on the computers. They watch all the videos on the computers. They don't use the TV. And the TV we had hooked up, very rarely was it using TV. It was using Tubi, Roku, Paramount Plus, Max. It was using all those streaming services, which also had live TV on them. And it was for saving us, you know, like $180 a month or so now. Ad for pocket hose. Is that the first ad? Rein in the courts. Yeah. Yeah. Rein in the courts. Judges don't know the law, don't know what the Constitution says, and say, oh, we're above that. We're a judge. We can create law. No, you can't. Actually, if Yellowstone erupted, it wouldn't have any more impact than the Hawaiian Island eruptions, because the Yellowstone is not going to be a big eruption. There's not enough power in it. It's bled out, and they still think, and it's still bled out. There's no magma building up down below. It's just steam and stuff fluctuating. It's not going to be. It's going to be more like a balloon going, rather than a champagne bottle going pow with the cork. Yeah. There are a number of states that do not charge state income tax. There are several states that do not allow property tax at all. So I wish Idaho would get on the stick and go, okay, no property tax, no income tax. Venerable Owl, welcome, sir. Iowa's income tax rate is down to 3.5 for everyone. I'm not sure what Idaho's income tax is, because my wife does all that stuff. All I know is that our sales tax here in Idaho is 6%. Because every time I order something on Amazon, it says, it gives me the, 6%. Okay. And I looked it up somewhere else and it was, it's 6% here. All right. Go ahead and take that off. Other ways to mitigate it, if we can get rid of the Fed is not the Fed is not a federal agency. It's not a federal office. It is a private corporation set up by private bankers and billionaires, and it was authorized by paid off members of Congress to set it up. And that needs to go away. That needs to go away right away because they've screwed stuff up so friggin' much. Of course, they all know what they were going to do is screw things up, and they all made boatloads of money on it. Easy. You eliminate it. Somebody there who didn't want to totally eliminate it was making money on keeping it. And not just the R's, but the D's as well. All right. Yeah. So we need to get rid of a central bank. They don't need a central bank. Get rid of it. Don't need the Fed. Get rid of it. Don't need the 16th Amendment. Get rid of it. Get rid of the federal income tax. Get rid of the limit on tariffs. And everybody goes, tariffs? No, it's going to cost us more. Not in the long run. Because if they get rid of this 16th Amendment, that means no income tax. How much are you paying in federal income tax? What are you paying? 25, 30% in federal income tax? All of a sudden, you now have 25 or 30% more money in your pocket. Now, the stuff coming from overseas, oh, wow, yes, it got a 40% income tariff on it. Well, if you're not buying the crap from overseas, you're not spending that. So you still have 25% extra money in your pocket because you're not paying federal tax, and you can buy good American-made stuff and still have money left over in your pocket to pay off your home. Buy a home if you don't have one. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, I got to check something here. Hang on one second. I got to check something here. Okay. The Patriot Act expired March 2020. And then the section, specifically section 215, along with two other sections, also timed out because lawmakers failed to reach an agreement to extend it. So, so the Patriot Act, March 15th, 2020, died. Now, there are other laws which people still refer to as the Patriot Act, which are not part of it. Well, it also depends. See, if you have your homes paid off, you don't have the deductions there. If you don't have any interest stuff, you don't have deductions there. So, some people don't have deductions, so they're stuck at their bracket. But then if you have all these deductions, that means you're paying that money anyways to somebody else in interest rates or whatever else. So it's one of those things is, my wife and I went round and round. Finally, she whipped out her book and she goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I missed this part." Her big fat econ book. So we started paying everything off. It's like, okay, pay it off, and that way, yeah, we lose on the tax write-offs, but we wind up saving more money in the long run on interest, because you only get a portion of that interest we're paying to come off the taxes, not all of it. All right. So anyways, economy-wise stuff here. Things that you can do. We can do mitigation-wise individually. Tighten your belt. Like I said, don't get the new phone every time. Don't go out to movies. It's a lot cheaper to go ahead and just buy the DVD or Blu-ray when it comes out. That way you can watch it several times. And if you happen to have a streaming service that is going to show that, you can just watch it there. But still, I prefer having the Blu-rays, because I've noticed some of the movies I like watching on some of the streaming services, they're there, all of a sudden they're gone. Then 6 months later, okay, we brought this one back for a short time. It's like, damn, okay, just give me the DVDs or Blu-rays, and I can watch it there. Besides that, a lot of the stuff we wish we'd gone ahead and gotten all the Disney stuff in DVD when they first came out on DVD, because it was cheap. Because then we, for our grandkids and stuff, we have a whole boatload of stuff that's on VHS. We got to find a VHS player that'll play it, and then record it and put it onto a DVD off of it, so we don't have to worry about the VCR tapes going. The big beautiful bill didn't pass first go around. Well, so anyway, says there are things we need. Basically, we can exercise personal money management to make our positions a little bit better. It's like when the staff sergeant and I got married. And we used to go out to dinner all the time. We go out to the movies all the time. Then one year we added up how much we were spending on that crap, and it was like, holy maloney. And we stopped. It's like, okay, we're cutting way back on this. We'll only go out to dinner on somebody's birthday if that person wants to go out for dinner. Usually I said, rather than go out and spend, $25, $30 on a porterhouse steak and everything else, why don't we just go buy the meat ourselves, and that way we can all have porterhouse steaks for a couple of nights on the same bill it would cost to go out to dinner on. So we make choices and stuff, and the choices you make can help you out. Example, in 2016, did my math right? 9 years ago, we bought the house across the street on a 30-year loan. I'm not sure if it's this month or next month we'll be paid off, because we've been paying off. We paid the loan, and we paid big chunk. All right, this is just on principal only, which lowers the interest rate, which means the next normal bill is more against principal and less against interest, and we throw another big cash at it. And so in 9 years, we paid off a 30-year mortgage, just doing that and not doing stuff. I mean, in my lifetime, I bought 2 new cars. One was a T-Bird I got several years before I got married. And then the next one was the year after I got married, because I picked up my brother, assumed my brother's lease on his little Ford Ranger, which was squat a month. We turned that one in. We bought a brand new F-350 one-ton with dualies on it, and drove that until it needed a new engine and stuff, even with all the service stuff that was being done on it. And it's just, it's like, okay. And then we bought a used pickup for me, and then I bought a used car for my one here. My wife bought a new Toyota minivan new back, I'm trying to remember when it was, early 90s, mid 90s. Yes, that was more than 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And then she gave it to our daughter. Her mom gave her Buick, and she got a little RAV4 because she wanted something that sits up a little bit higher. So my wife got the Buick for free, basically, because we gave the other one to our daughter. And she just this in January, December, bought her second new car in her life. And she goes, it's the last car she's going to buy probably, because she's going to keep it for 20 years or 30 years or so. Keeps it for 30 years, she'll be in her 90s. And she goes, I ain't going to be driving in my 90s. So, yeah, we've bought used car. Yeah, we bought some new cars. But we bought used cars, most of the time. The only reason why she bought the new ones was for all of the warranty stuff on it. In case anything happens to it, she got an extended warranty on it, and so she's got like a 10-year or more, maybe 12-year, all the warranty stuff on it. So, but you got to choose wisely where you're going to be spending your money as part of your mitigation plan. So you are better on a financial footing than most other people. Working at Homeland Security, we had some mental midgets when it came to money management. And they were getting new iPhones every time the new one came out. They were one of the first ones in line to get the new iPhone. And how much that cost you? Oh, it cost you 2 paychecks, huh? And some of the, like the entire time I was there, I had the Nokia, and then I had the one we went to AT&T. And the AT&T one, I had to change out for this one after I was retired, and I was up here. So it was like 2000, I think it's 2021 is when I got this new phone here, maybe 22. But it was free because they were eliminating the 3G network for phones. So, if you plan it right and conserve your money, shop smart. You don't go out and buy stuff. Oh, I want this. I'm going to go buy it right now. It's like, no, wait. If you're buying something on Amazon, put it in a wish list and watch it. Because sure as heck, every now and then, just about everything on Amazon goes boom down for a day or two, sometimes only for like 6 hours, and it pops back up again. And if you catch it on that big 25% drop they do now and then, boom, you just save yourself 25%. Okay. Need to see a financial advisor, specifically one that also works in not just you're putting your money's going to be put as far as, oh, you're going to invest in this and that. No, ones that deal with oh crap, the insurance ones, the index limited, whatever it is, insurance policies and stuff, where all the money, you put money into it, and then you can borrow the money against it, and there's no interest or tax for borrowing the money against your life insurance policy. And then you can pay it back just like you were buying something else. And then there are also some trusts. There's revocable and irrevocable trusts. And there's a couple specific types that you can take your 401k, IRAs and stuff, and put it in there tax-free, because it is an investment trust, and then investment trust then buys the house for you. or you just sign it over in a quick deed. And it's like, oh, they bought it, and that way the money then is an investment trust, and you don't have to pay the money on it until you take it out personally. But you can also borrow against it too, and do things. It's there was a couple of the guys I was talking about it, and they were going over. I got a bunch of their videos and stuff, and they're going over it. The guys are explaining it down road how it works, and it's like I got to get my wife to watch this. But yeah, there are ways where you can take your IRAs and your 401ks and shift them into another type of a portfolio, a trust investment portfolio, where you don't get taxed on it. My puddle jumper. I haven't heard a card called the puddle jumper since my grandmother bought a Mercury Maverick, which is AKA the Ford Pinto. Bonus 2016-17, yeah. Carolina, welcome. She came on over from Shadow Scout Swedes Live today. So in mitigating your financial liability if the U.S. economy collapses, you got to tighten your belt now. You got to be savvy in your investments. You got to be savvy in your expenses. You got to control your desires as far as your gratification desires of, oh, I want this, I want that, I want to go out to dinner all the time. You control those desires. I got a family member to stop drinking alcohol for a little bit, and they realized how much they were spending on going out and party. I can't even pronounce it. Partying and getting headaches. And I go, we don't need the headaches. We don't need to go out and party like this. They stopped, and all of a sudden they had more money in the bank because they weren't spending a boatload on booze. Let's see what else here. Okay, so you can, if you know someone who is an accountant, talk to them about the ways you can mitigate your financial exposure. You may not like some of the things they say. They may be, oh, that's too stringent for me. Oh, that's your choice. But also you got to remember, sometimes you have to spend a little money now to save a boatload of money later on. And that's like what we did, what my wife did with the loan on the house across the street. She's doing on the loan on this house. 9 years paying that one off, and then all the money we've been paying towards that one is going to go on this one here. So this one ought to get paid off even quicker. Hey, Savage Lee. So, you make your choices, whether you're going to tighten the belt or keep on collecting things you think you need. Investing in, if you have some land, invest in some land that doesn't have a house on it, then you can get it cheap. And if it's nearby, you can start planting trees on it, orchard trees, food trees and stuff, and save up your money till you can build on it and then sell what you have. Or if you're renting, you just, do that. That's what Keith and Cheyenne of Red Poppy Ranch did. They were renting, and they were renting from a family member, so they got a little bit, pushed down, and they just saved all the money, bought the acreage down here south of me, and then they built their own house. Living in the other house, still working down there. He was a plumber and stuff, and then they built the house, and once they got the house built, then they moved up in there and started doing more on it. Yeah, so first thing, you got to decide what you want to do. Are you willing to live in a house where you're having to work on it for 5 to 10 years, building it, fixing it up, whatever? Do you buy a fixer upper and spend a lot of your time fixing it up so you can turn around and sell it in 10, 15 years? Or are you going to fix it up and into what you want, into your dream house, and then keep it because you bought it a lot cheaper, you've invested into it, but you're not paying the big interest rate of buying a dream house brand new when you go to buy it? All right, Mike, do not take offense at this. All right, just a question. Why do you want to invest in an e-bike? Are you going to be using it to go to work? I'm just kind of curious. What is the thinking behind investing in an e-bike? Everyone that I've commented on their videos that have been buying e-bikes and stuff, it's like, why? Explain it out to me why it's important to have an e-bike. And well, a couple of them had medical reasons. All right, they want to bike, they bike for exercise, but their knees are going bad, and they need the extra power of the e-bike to help them go, so they're not killing their knees the rest of the way, but they're still able to keep in shape. All right, Caroline is living in a camper, spending all of her money on animals, fruit trees, bushes, vines, and fencing. I take it that you own the land, you're living on. Happy Mac. I have an e-bike. I'm old. I don't have a bike, and I'm old. Hey, Mark. Let's see. Savagely, think you want to invest in a new refrigerator before the tariffs? Uh, yeah, make it a major investment. Interesting thing on that. If you have this is saying. Let me switch this up a little bit. Okay, I've seen several videos from different guys, different channels, and what they do is they get the old 50s, 60s, maybe some early 70s, but mainly 50s and 60s refrigerators that are, people got rid of them because they're going to the new energy efficient ones. They fix it up, go through it, restore them brand new, and then they find out, oh, it's cheaper to run than the new energy efficient, e refrigerator, whatever, on it, because it doesn't have the heating coils heating it up to defrost the freezer all the time and to keep ice from building up inside the refrigerator portion, or so because yeah. Anyways, yeah, I would love to get one of those old ones that are built like a bullet, and actually have 2.5, 3 inches of insulation, and not 3/4 of an inch of insulation in it. E-bike to eliminate miles on the Tundra. Oh, okay, so you have a Toyota Tundra. Okay, I can see that. Now, Mike, don't hit me for this. I've actually seen some people get an e-trike instead, because it has they put a bigger battery pack on it, but it has a place, the big basket in the back. They can buy stuff at the store and bring it home, rather than trying to balance it on a bike, on a bicycle instead of a tricycle. Good luck on that. They're into circuit boards. I've actually looked at just getting an adult trike, not an e-trike, just an adult trike with a basket on it, for riding around town here. But yeah. Yeah, my daughter's refrigerator they got trying to remember when they got it, but yeah, they started getting some mice over there. Told her what to do. She goes, yeah, they're coming through this area. We'll stuff some get some SOS pads and stick it in there. Well, I don't want to do that. The kids might get hold of it. Stick the SOS pads in there. Well, today, last night it started smelling funny. This morning it was the refrigerator was really hot and it was really smelling. They unplugged it, pulled it out, and on the back it had the card that particle cardboard type thing on it that goes and bends underneath. They popped that off and big old mouse nets fell out because the mice were coming in and go, oh, it's nice and warm in there. And they were building a nest in the refrigerator. Not sure if it's totally dead or not. They're going to try to clean it out and see what they, get it fixed. They borrowed my little refrigerator I had in the shop and took it over there. But yeah. Most modern refrigerators are built obsolescence. Yeah, there's always a wire, but maybe you can't get to that wire. And maybe you might clip the wrong wire. Ugh. Yeah. So I guys, I just love, if you haven't seen the way that old refrigerators from the 50s and 60s were, the one shelf he builds it and it's got the metal shelves in it, not glass, metal shelves in it. But wait a minute, you pull it and the shelf turns, so the stuff in the back comes around out in front, so you can pull off it. He puts 20-pound weights on these things as he's doing it, so you can see it. Yeah, they're built solid. The only reason why they got replaced was marketing, saying, "Oh, you need to get a frost-free refrigerator. You need to get an energy-efficient refrigerator." Hang on. I got to go back up here and see what I missed. Okay. So Carolina's in North Carolina, near the Neuse River. But yeah, there are things you can do now. Recovery from it going down. Oh, wait, before I go to recovery, other mitigating stuff. Plant a garden now. If it's in 5-gallon buckets, if it's in those 15-gallon fake ceramic pots that are made out of plastic that you can grow stuff in, the 15 to 20-gallon pots, whatever. Get the 100-gallon Rubbermaid horse trough and turn that into a pot for it. That way, when you move, you can get a couple guys to pick it up and put it on whatever your trailer or whatever. Grow food. The more food that you can grow, the more money you're going to save at the market, and it's not going to have a peel sprayed on it, and it's not going to have the other chemicals sprayed on it, and it's not going to have all the fog gases put on it to make it ripen at a certain time because it was picked green and it's being shipped from another country to come up here. So you get the point. It'll be healthier for you. Wait a minute. If it's healthier for you, you're less likely to get sick as often, which means you're not going to have to buy all those cough drops, and you may wind up getting rid of your allergies as well, because you're eating healthy. You're not having all this bad poisonous food you're eating. So yeah, grow food. Try to buy a non-smart TV. Yeah, unfortunately, it's at Walmart I can get a 32-inch Roku TV for $88. At least 2 weeks ago I could. It was back down on sale again. But then if you got a smart TV and you have internet, not cable, you're saving the money on the cable and anyway, you got to do your numbers, do your own figuring out Do your, figure out, all right, this is cheaper for me to do this. The only way you're going to find a not smart TV is at a thrift shop where they haven't disposed of them all yet. Yeah. The other thing too, along that line, budget it out. See whether it's worth it to you to start getting doing a do-it-yourself solar panel system, and or you have a power station with expandable batteries on it, and you get the basic, and you put stuff on it that runs all the time, like your refrigerator and maybe your computer, your TV. Put a couple of those on it. That way, at night when nobody's watching it, it's not drawing power, so the battery's just not being the battery is not being drained down. And this morning, the sun comes out, charges it back up again. If you have an energy plan like we have here, where we have on peak and off peak hours, and the off peak hours are like quarter what the on peak hours is, maybe a little bit closer to a third, but way less than half of what the on peak hours are. Yeah. And if you happen to get one of those power stations, which is what I want to do, you put a timer on a wall plug timer, and you plug it into it, so it only charges off the power grid on the off peak cheaper times. So during the daytime, when it's on the peak hours, you're running off the power station. Just a thought. That's one of the things I want to try to get done here. All right, Sandy. You could probably die owing money to somebody. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, booted out of your browser. Oh, that sucks. What browser were you using? Chrome, Edge, or a different browser? Or were you watching on your tablet, so you're watching on whatever browser that Amazon uses? Amazon Silk, yeah. Kaylin, I'm going to get, yeah, everything paid off, yeah. Kaylin, I wish I'd known something that there was an alternative browser you could download to Kindles besides Silk. Before they said, Amazon said, "Oh, your Kindle's so old, we're not gonna support it anymore, so we're uninstalling Silk off of your Kindle." It's like, if I could have downloaded another browser instead of Silk, then I could have kept using that one for looking at stuff. Yeah. Von Eric, hey, welcome. So now recovery. Ways to recover are also part of ways of mitigation as well, for personal mitigation of the U.S. economy collapsing. Getting a side hustle, having a second job, having a side hustle that you don't have to work for anybody else. You work for yourself and you sell stuff, such as eggs, chickens, chicks, goat's milk. Oh, you're not selling goat's milk. You're renting out the jars the goat's milk was in. Making candles, doing your own little forge and making knives and stuff, doing leather working. making holsters out of leather or out of Kydex, doing custom-made shoes. Custom-made shoes or work boots, especially, are if you're good enough and you get the training right, and you get whatever sewing equipment you need to do the stitching and stuff, can be very profitable, especially through word of mouth, where you start developing a following. Excellent, CB. Now, if she's doing a Roth, that means she's paying on the taxes are coming out before they're deposited. So once it rolls over and is available, it's all tax free. That's good. Doing a Roth IRA over a regular IRA. Did I get it right? Yep. And like your comment before, I'm lucky if I get $100 a month between the two channels right now. And out of that comes the expense of StreamYard, which is ridiculously expensive this year. They upped the price a lot. And I try to give back giveaways to all the channel members and stuff as well. So yeah, it's a I think I made a total last year of $115. But then again, I went and bought the other cell phone / camera I use for it. When my wife actually moves up here, or maybe this summer, I'll be moving up all her woodworking equipment up here. Then I'll have another side hustle. I started to do before, but I just made a bunch of it for our kids at the time, and the grandkids are using it now. I made the Brio wooden train track. They have they have the 9, and they have the what was it, 8 and the 10-inch straights. I made 24-inch straight pieces. I made longer curves that work on it. So, once we get everything done, the shop's all done, I actually set the wood shop up in there and start doing that stuff. That'll be a side hustle. Another side hustle I want to do, and I got to talk to the Wi-Fi, because we got boatloads of candles given to us, and we're still collecting all the candles we can. Well, I got all this wax. I might as well make these little cutesy little things. And do I got anything after that? No, I don't have anything after that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take that down for a second. Drop that down out of the way. Just to show you what you can do candle-wise from off of Amazon. Folks, let me get up here. That up there, go into my... Oh, if you got to develop a big enough garden, you can juice and sell juice at the farmer's market from apples and stuff like that. Crap, I just thought, what was the other one I was looking for? Shoot, trying to remember what the other one was under. Oh, candles, that's right. There it is, candle making right there. All right, candle making, you can buy all sorts of wicks, different size wicks here on Amazon. You can buy molds for Easter Bunny mold candles, Christmas mold candles, trees and Santa Claus, and you can also use these molds, they say, for silicone molds for candle and soap craft making. So you got these different ones you can make. Either make soap bars of soap out of it, or make candles. and sell the candles during summertime and into the fall at farmers markets, and you can set up your own Etsy store selling them. You can do Halloween. You can do the, hang on here, open a new tab. You can do the ghouls candles, which are kind of cool. Got the mold, everything pours in upside down. They got all sorts of different molds and stuff for you can do for different ones here. You know, looks like the Hulk fist, but you can all sorts of different candles. I like Halloween, so we got ghosts, you got pumpkins. It's this one here. I put this in here for some reason. Let's see what that one looks like. More Halloween or Day of the Dead, specifically for this type here. Now you got all sorts of candles making, and you can buy the blended waxes. You can buy different bulk waxes, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. More molds, regular type molds, different type wixes, regular cylinder molds, Christmas tree molds, more skeletons, Halloween stuff. Dyes, you got all the colors that you can color your waxes with. Yeah. Cake decorating stuff. Yeah. The staff sergeant's best friend from high school was doing that. Her mom was a professional chef, learned how to do it, and they were doing cakes on the side for weddings and stuff. So there is a lot of different side hustles. One of the other ones, see if I can find the other one here real quick. Where did I put that? I just got pieces of stuff. I got a fun called Side Hustles. I got pieces of stuff where I have to make stuff. These are just some of the parts for making it. For Dutch ovens, for all my scout troop, and then at NYLT for the entire course, I made Dutch oven carriers that were about that long, wooden handles with rubber grips on it, and had a big old hook on it, so two scouts could carry the big old heavy full Dutch oven from point A to point B without spilling it and not burn their hands. I made a bunch of those and just gave those away at the scouts, but I got the parts for making more of them. I got, let's see if I got and other things listed in here. There's some other things I've been looking at for side hustle woodworking things besides the train tracks. Building portable shelving for those 27-gallon black and yellow totes you see everywhere that they just slide in and they stack up, so they're not stacking on each other. They're held up on away from each other, so you can pull them out separately, and they're built for those specifically, either installed or with wheels where they can roll them around their garage. Sell those. Yeah, there's one right there. There's a lot of fun things you can do woodworking wise, and at peddlers fairs and farmers markets, you do it good. You sell them off good, and then as you're selling them, you can see what the market's going to bear. For all right, I sell 2 at this price, or I sell 4 at this lower price. Things you got to find out for your side hustles. What's going to work best for you. And go ahead and take that down there. Boom. So for recovery is to have different ways to have different jobs, part-time jobs, side hustles, whatever you want to call it, where you are not having to work for a regular company under their guidelines all the time. Sometimes it's good. You can go find a good job like that. That's recovering fast after the U.S. economy collapses. but you want to have side hustle stuff for, you know, give you a little bit of independent stuff and get extra money to pay off any big debts you have, homes, cars, etc., like that. Because if you can pay those off quicker, that's all of a sudden, instead of paying it now, that's money, more money in your pocket now to do other things with. Yes, that's the other thing. Of course, if the economy collapses, there may not be credit cards for quite a while. People are going to go credit card? No. Especially when you have people that buy stuff and then they dispute the claim just because they know they're not going to have to, you know, they're going to get some phony baloney thing so they don't have to pay it. And then the credit card company comes back after you to get the money back because they're saying you didn't fulfill. Yeah, anyways, I hate credit cards. Now, debit cards, the money's out and it's gone, it's yours. Yep. And that's a hobby there too. Bees and honey. We talked about that on last Friday. Or was it this Friday? But bees, you know, bees are something. But the bees take time. You got to be able to deal with it. What type of hat is this? This is a Masters Hatters of Texas, made in the USA. 3X felt, beaver felt. Yes, it is a cowboy hat. First hat I owned first hat I wore as a kid was a cowboy hat. Of course, it was my dad's until he got me and my brother our own cowboy hats, straw, of course, because it was cheaper back then. Oh, yeah. All right. Looking at the time. So coming up here, future stuff coming up here. Let's get it up here. Right there it is. All right. So Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound is we're going to talk about pulling stuff from your pantry. 5 survival meals using pantry staples. Pantry staples. No, we're not talking about staples like a staple gun or a paper stapler. We're talking about the standard supplies in your pantry. So 5 survival meals using pantry staples. And these will be meals that you can make and put on the shelf for emergencies and stuff as well. Tuesday on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday, should you organize a CAG, that's CAG, Community Assistance Group, as opposed to a MAG, which is a mutual assistance group with people join to get into, they're from all over the place, but where a CAG is basically, it's a community, it's your community getting together, forming a group to help those in your community, specifically members of the CAG itself, to do that. So that's going to be on Tuesday. Thursday is the Midnight Ride. Of course, as always, pulling up stuff from the news. And if I remember, I got a boatload of funny memes to share with you Thursday. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound, plant your food tree now. And we're going to talk about all sorts of food trees, nut trees, fruit trees, citrus trees, sizes of them from full to semi-dwarf to dwarf to ultra-dwarf, multiple food trees, basically where you got a 4-in-1, which is like you'll have an apple, a pear, a peach, and an apricot on one trunk. Yeah, they graft on the branches and stuff. There's another side hustle. If you can grow it and graft onto it and sell those sell for a lot of money. So So plant your fruit tree now. Next Saturday, for the event for next Saturday, after the polar ice caps melt, what are your plans? And I feel bad about this one. I'm trying to remember what. I think it was in the last year, from March of 24 to February of 25, the Antarctic ice cap gained 600 some odd million cubic feet of ice. Gee, it's not melting. Reminds me back. I'll talk about more of that on next Saturday for that. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicine, clothing. Learn a new skill every month, like leatherworking, make belts, whatever, candle making, whatever it is. Learn a new skill every month and try growing a little bit more this year. Okay? Take care, and I will see you Monday.